Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. All right. Is everybody ready to get started? Let's jump into this as quickly as we can today. I put the replay for the last 2 weeks up in the group, so make sure you watch there for the replays. I was a week behind for some personal reasons, but we got caught up, and then there won't be the week that we did the introduction to this. We have a reason for doing that. We shared a link there that's not active, and so we didn't want that to be out in the public. Okay, so we also have Ray and Tom and Robert, and so let's get started. I think I'm ready to do this. Let's get started. This is going to go rather quickly this morning. Let's see. This is a training taken from the Visual Story Mastery program. Some of you have been through that. We're combining that with a focus on branding, because the next step, the next thing, once you start to understand the whole process of the visual story, and the story being the key component to that 3-word title, is where your brand is developed and where it comes from. So let's do this. Make sure I can see everybody here and their comments. So let me do a little bit of adjustment here. I'll be ready to go. Andrews, good to see you. Okay. All right. This is going to be a really, really short agenda today, because we're going to do the brand brief, which is a combination of the customer hero worksheet, which I've already posted in the group. Make sure you have that. That's a Google Docs. And then we have the brand strategy document, which we worked on last week. And I will share that with you in just a minute, okay? But hopefully you have had some time to develop this customer hero worksheet and this brand strategy document. Good morning, Don. And Mike, that's a good, you're going to need both of these today, and we're going to put them into your brand brief. And that brand brief is a really, really important document. I'm a big fan of physical visualization. The doors in my house, I have notes put up in places. I have statements and sayings and things that make a big difference for me. Good morning, Tyree. And so I really think it's a good idea to do that. We're going to create a visual that you can post someplace, hang it on your wall, stick it on your door, have it the place where you go in and out, something that you review every day. Okay. Robert, little secret, just as I used to tell my kids, follow along and you'll find out. It's not a sales pitch, though. This is about building a brand, and that's what we're in the process of doing, okay? We're going to teach you how to build the brand, and we've been giving you a big chunk of the training for free. This is what I do with my clients every single day, and this is what they pay me to do, and I'm giving it to you for free. Okay, so this is the process that we're going to go through. We've already been through the customer hero worksheet. We've done the brand strategy document, and we're going to combine that today into this magical document called the brand brief. Okay, and then over here we have, just remember, this is that customer journey. This is where we're going, and it's really important that we have these pieces done, because it will help us to create this customer journey. All right, everybody good with that? You understand what we're doing? All right, then let's get started. We're going to jump out of this agenda, very brief agenda today. Well, they'll be longer sometimes. And we're going to go over to the Google Docs document that I had given you earlier. Let me pull this down and stick it in there so that we have that. And I need one more thing. Last week, I had promised to you, just a second, there we go. Now I got that together. Last week, I promised to you that I would give you a document called A Message to Garcia. And so let me drop that in here. and then I can get that out of the way. Sunita, it's earlier in the chat here, and somebody else may be able to get the link and give it to you. I can't jump back and forth and do that. So all right, we're going to, let me get here. Well, hang on a second. Somehow or another, I have managed to lose my document. So hold on, I'll find it. Let me stop sharing the screen so you won't be seeing all of that flashing on and off. There we go. That's what I needed to do, was get that out of the way. Give me just a second. All right, can you all see my screen now? Okay, you see this little brand brief template right here? I am going to give you the link for that. I put it in earlier, but while I have these documents open, they're easier to do. So I'm going to give you the link to that. Go ahead and feel free to open that up while we go through this. I don't like for you to be distracted, because then you're not paying attention to me and you're worrying about replays and all that other stuff. But just have that open so you'll have the link to that. That will give you this template right here, which you're going to need. We're going to actually develop that template today. Okay, so you should have the hero document. You should have your customer hero document right here. And that document, you have to save a copy of it. And this is it right here. You have to save a copy of it. You have to log in order to have access to that, Michelle. And then you just simply go up here, make a copy of this, and then you've got a copy that you can work from. All right. The other thing that you're going to need is this the copy of the brand strategy worksheet, and you should already have this completed. Okay. I want to make sure everybody has those completed. That's the reason why we're giving them to you, so that you can complete them on your own, and we don't complete them while we're doing while we're going through the process. Okay. So let me go back over here, and we have two things that we're going to pull from today. I have this customer hero worksheet, and my customer in this case, I have named him Ed. And I have this brand document worksheet that we went through last week. So those are the two things that we'll be going through as of right now. And we're going to pull the information from both of those, and we're going to plug that into this brand worksheet. All right. So in this brand worksheet, well, it should open up for me. Here we go. Here we go. In this brand worksheet, we're going to take the information that we had before and we're going to enter it here, okay? I'm going to give that my name. Do y'all see where we're at? So this is fairly wide open, all right? This is a framework for how you're going to create this brand brief. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name here to my brand name, right? And I'm going to get rid of the brand brief because I know what that is. So I'm going to make my name just a little bit bigger here. I hate these little tiny boxes. They're hard for me. So make that just a little bit bigger so you can see it. This is going to be my customer, and my customer's name is Ed, right? And then we're going to throw a second customer in here, and I'm going to call her Sarah. It's always a good idea to have, if you have both male and female clients, if that's the space that you work in, it's a good idea to have an avatar for both of those, okay? And that will help you as you go to make sure that you have that. So this is what we're going to do. We're literally going to pull the document. We're going to pull the information from the documents that we've done the last 2 weeks, and we're going to plug them into this template. Does that make sense to everybody? So I'm going to jump back over to my Google Docs. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to duplicate that Google Docs so I have 2 different pages open. Everybody with me? I'm going to open this page in this document, and I'm going to open my brand worksheet right here. And I'm going to pull the information from those 2 documents to insert into here. But before we do that, let's go through here and let's change these images, okay? Now this is where, and I've said this all along, that we're going to do some things inside of Usign, and we'll develop some skills as we go. So this is one of the things that we're going to do. I'm going to run down here, and I'm going to find somebody who fits my male avatar here to insert a picture so that I've got somebody to look at. And I'm going to use this picture right here. I have actually taken that picture and saved it like this. So what I'm going to do is come over here where it says replace. I'm clicked on this image right here, and I'm going to replace that image with this one of Ed. And now I don't have to resize it. I don't have to do anything. I've replaced it so it's exactly the right size. Right? Y'all remember that? I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll make sure everybody understands how to do that. I'm going to hit the replace button, and I'm going to go over here and find, and notice that button turns blue. I'm going to find an image of a female that I can drop in here. I think I have one. So the first thing we want to do is, oh, there we go. That was the one I wanted to use right there. Oops. I had that in a circle. What did I do? I swore I had that in a circle. There it is. And it keeps jumping out of the way for me. I'm so sorry, folks. Right there. Now we got it right. Okay. What if it wasn't already in a circle? We can easily do that. That's actually a function of the crop tool, Kim. So I took the images that were square and I used the crop tool to crop them into a circle and then saved that, made sure that when I used the crop tool over here, I made sure that I had it saved to the library, right? But you do that with the crop tool. But that's how I put them in a circle. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I've made sure I've got my visuals here. The other thing, and this is something that's missing for me because I desperately need to have, I'm desperately at the point where I need to have my logo redone. It's old, I've used it forever, and so I desperately need to have that logo redone, or I need to redo my logo is what I'm trying to say, and we're going to focus on logos later, but for right now, I'm just going to grab an old version of that logo and I'm going to put it in here, okay? I said I was going to. I think I will. I'm just going to use this for right now. All right. I was looking for one that I could put on a white background. All right. Okay, so we've got this set up now in this format. I've got my images inserted here, and I'm ready now to grab the remainder of the content. I can move this over so I can see y'all's comments. And I'm going to now take a look at the remainder of the stuff in my document, right? So we go over here, and this is my brand document. Remember when we filled this out last week? Y'all tell me if you remember when we filled this out last week. And the first thing that we dealt with was the problem. And so this is the problem that my business solves. So I'm going to grab the problem. I'm going to come down here. I'm simply going to paste the problem there. Y'all see that? Now, you should have a problem that your business solves. This is really, really important. Let me give you a little hint. I did something this week that one of those things I should have thought about a long time ago. Y'all heard me talk about this a lot. I have a vast library of very brief how-to videos that I've created. I saved them with a name on them, and the name is the name of the product that I was answering the question for. I now have a list of all of the problems that people have from that product. So I know exactly what those products or what those problems are. So I can take that problem, but it's important that you put that problem into a single sentence. And so what I did here was I created a single sentence. And that single sentence is that confusion and complexity of technology paralyzes small business owner / entrepreneur. So building on that's the problem we're going to solve. So whatever problem it is that you solve in your business, that's what you're going to put on this document right here. I'm going to solve, this is this problem that we solve. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what do we need to have next. Do you see the solution in here? The word solution doesn't appear here. So I'm going to look for the next things. I've got principles, I got positioning, I got values, I have mission, and I have a value proposition. All right, let's go over here and take a look at this. Solution and competition are not included, but I've detailed that out. Very important to detail that out. We plan to solve this problem by providing simple, detailed training, instructions, webinars, etc., and back office solutions. All right. Now come down here to the vision. Why does this business, Eric said, exist? And I'm going to grab this. I'm now going to insert that over here under vision. And it's kind of long. So I've got a little bit of an issue here that I'm going to have to deal with. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I'm going to move this one. I'm going to have to move it out of the way so I can grab this word mission and move it down. And let's see if we can fit that in there, because it's important to have all this together, right? And I may want to trim that just a little bit. We can take this word technology and I can trim it to tech. And that makes it a little bit cleaner. All right, you got that? Now I've got value proposition, missions, positioning, and principles that are left. Let's go down here and let's take a look at the mission. And I have a mission statement right here. I'll take that mission statement and I insert it right here. Okay. Now, I have doubled up on this comment right here by including my my tagline in that mission statement, and I want to delete that. So now I'm going to take that tagline and I'm going to move it over here. All right. This is the tagline right here. I'm going to insert it right here. Yeah, Eric. And you should have a tagline. You should have a big idea, whatever it is that you do that makes you distinctively different than everybody else. And so I'm going to put my tagline right here. And I'm going to get rid of everything else. All right, you with me now? And this tagline becomes really important because it's something that I had this conversation the other day in a group, and I was a little bit surprised. People said nobody knows what the tagline is. Then nobody's doing a very good job of using the tagline. Taglines are extremely important. If I use the word Apple, then you're going to not know whether I'm talking about a fruit at the grocery store or I'm talking about the computer sitting in my lap or the phone that I'm holding in my hand. This is what makes them significantly different, is that there's a distinction being made that this is tagged to this, right? That makes sense? So I've taken my problem, put it here. I've taken the vision and put it here. I put the mission here. We've got a couple of other things that we want to take a look at from over here. Now, this is really important. We didn't get into this last week, and I promised you that I would do that today. And that is this values, principles, and brand affirmations. Write down 5 to 10 principles or brand affirmations below. Now, follow along with me here. I just took single words: simplicity, stewardship, community, leadership, community, and training. Or communication and training. And I put those, and I looked at them because those are the words that I use frequently. I use them repeatedly. Those are the things that become a significant part of this hero journey. What is it that I'm doing for that person as they round the track? Thinking about that coaching idea. What is it that I'm doing for that person as they round the track? What kinds of message am I sending to them? What's that value prop that makes them want to continue on, makes them keep going? So I took those words. Now you see how Uzon did it. We rebranded this webinar by calling it the You Can Make It webinar. That became the focus for the business as we began to create the direction for the future, push the boundaries, all of those kinds of things. Okay. And then what I did was I took these words right here and I created my, what am I working on up here? I'm working on my values, principles, and brand affirmations, right? So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put that into a sentence. And this is my paragraph here. It can be made simple. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can make it simpler than it is. It can be made simple. And simple does what? It makes awesome easy. Make the most of what you have. Make the most of what you have. How many times have you heard me say, master the tools that you have? It's the person who knows how to use the tools that makes the difference. It's not the person who has the tools. And I illustrated that one day by showing a picture of my goofy nephew, who's one of the highest paid HVAC techs in the country. And he has exactly the same tools in his van that everybody else has, but he is really, really good at what he does with them. I took the word community and I rephrased it. You're not alone. I took the leadership, take my hand. I took communication, hear me say. Because communication is what? It's not what I said. It's what you heard me say. It's not what I said. It's what you heard me say. Hear me as I say this. Listen carefully as I share this with you. It's the communication. It's the important value of the communication. Take my hand. I have a little, in every single one of these pieces, I have something in my head that clearly illustrates this. When my son was really little, he was a little over a year old, he would play in the yard. Loved to play in the yard. Loved to be in the grass, playing in the grass, and run around with a diaper on. Got his, and I didn't have a fence around my yard. So I took him to the curb and I said, you're never allowed to go across this curb unless you're holding my hand. You can do everything you want to do. Play as hard as you want to play. Play with the dog. Try to climb the tree. Do whatever you want to do. But you cannot go past this and you cannot go past that unless you hold my hand. And it was so interesting because when I would get in the yard, he would run over to the curb, stick his hand up in the air. It's like, I know how far I can go. Dad, come take me the rest of the way. And that's been my motto for a long time. Let me take you by the hand and I'll take you through this. Do you understand the value of this part right here? Do you see what we're doing with this? There's so much more here than just making a list of words. And I told you a long time ago when we started on this journey that this becomes who you are, because who you are is your brand. I tell my customers, you need somebody to fill your head, inspire your heart, and hold your hand. So I'm going to take this statement right here and I'm going to insert it over here. Now, what do you think I'm going to think every time I walk past that and see that on my door? I just told you 3 stories very quickly from 3 of the words in that value proposition. I'm going to remember those 3 stories every single time I go past the door. They're going to inspire me to do what I do. The purpose of this document is to inspire you. It's to inspire you. So now I've defined the problem. I've got the value proposition. I have the vision. I have the mission. I got two things left. I got the positioning and I have the principles. Now, the principles and the mission statement or the value prop kind of come from the same place. Okay. You understand that? We'll detail some how do we do this down here later. Okay. Fill your heart, feed your head, and hold your hand. I'm sorry. Fill your head, inspire your heart, hold your hand. Inspire your heart. You got me on the wrong track there, Robin. But it's okay. We're all good. Positioning and principles. Now, the principles may end up being some more of the how-to. So let's go over here and take a look at where we're at. Positioning. Okay. And this is my company is the only, and you define what company you're in, or what category your company's in, what your business in, that focuses on helping. And this goes back to this hero document over here. Who is it that we're looking for? It's the only one that and my focus is on people who want to create a second career, that they've retired from something. I mean, seriously, when this hit me like a ton of bricks. When there's a magic age in the insurance business where they don't keep their executives around anymore. And I knew when I hit that age, I was going to be in trouble. And I hit that age and they found a way to find somebody younger and cheaper to replace me with. And so what do I do with those skills that I have? How do I take that and do something else? So it's that second career entrepreneur. And that's my customer. That's who I have over here. That's Ed. That's Ed over here. Ed's 54 years old. He just retired. He lives in Birmingham, Alabama. He's married. He has grandkids. Starts his day by dreaming of what he's going to do next. Nobody wants to sit on the porch, right? Pete says, typical scenario. So many of us fit in that category. It isn't even funny. So we take this statement now. This is that positioning statement. We plug that positioning statement in right here. Okay. Oops. Put the wrong piece in. Sorry. Let's go back up here. Grab this. See if I can get it right this time. And see how many of you on this call are in this boat. This is the reason why we're doing this. All right, so that leaves us with a few things that we have to complete here. I've got principles. Let's see if we can find principles over here from the sheet that we were working on before, right? I got my tagline and my slogan there. I got my value prop there. I actually think I went the wrong way here. Mark, you're not too late. You're just older than my 54-year-old. And I'm way past that 54 age. But by the way, that was the magic number that I knew was coming. All right, Ed, we got to go back over here, our customer hero worksheet. All right, let's start putting some information in here about Ed. We'll grab this. See what we're doing? Frederick, it was earlier in the webinar that we did that. All right, we're about going to have to wrap this up, but do you understand how we're taking the customer hero story here We're taking the customer hero story first. And this is it right here. Now we're taking that customer hero story and our brand document, and we're combining them together in this template. Let me wrap this up with this template conversation, okay? This is a great document to print out. You might want to do some fancy lettering up here, put your logo in here, whatever. But the point is this: you want to have all of this on a single 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. Put that on something that's a little stiffer than a regular sheet of paper. Stick it on the door. Stick it beside your computer. Put it in a frame hanging on the wall. Do something amazing with it, because this becomes your inspiration every day. How many of you were inspired as I told that mission story? Or inspired as I went through those values? Or inspired as I went through that? Do you understand the value that is? All right. We have to wrap up because we got the other webinar that's coming in. Make sure that you go and join that other webinar. I've given you a link to that. Sunita, I'm not sure I understand your question. Oh, will I share my version of this when it's done? Absolutely, yes. Okay, we're going to have to sign out because I promised I would be out of here, give Bertram 20 minutes to get logged in, get ready, get his links in, and get all the stuff ready. That webinar is on at 11, and that gives me 20 minutes between now and then. I put it earlier in the document. You have to scroll back real quickly, Andrews, and find that because I don't have access to it right now. Okay. It's the same line. It's just in more detail. Yes, Glenna has just posted the link there, Andrews. So hopefully you'll catch that. Now, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for joining me. I really, really appreciate that. Watch for the update in the group, and be sure and share in the group your amazing experiences of sharing on this webinar today. Okay? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look forward to seeing you next Friday.